Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're joining you here back at the VHEL after a short little break. We're coming in with preseason for the spring season. My name is Sherry J, joined by the one, the only, the super cool, fantastic Sir Mickey. As we come on in, we're here for the battlefield. It's the Bosco Tech taking on West Texas for a phenomenal matchup in week 1 of the preseason.
It is going to be a banger of a showcase here on Ilios. A couple map changes in the new season, but I believe minimal here on this series of maps at least. But right out of the gate, I am very interested in the composition. We got a couple. All right, we have three new agents on our screen, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see that Tracer in action. I want to see that cat carry someone across the finish line into victory. I want to see some crazy work in Bosco Tech. Right out of the gate, setting up very defensive.
It's a good start, to say the least, but as we do look towards Riptide taking over the high ground, but as we do see Sea Serpent and a Lava Tank working in unison, this is a phenomenal combo. The Cat is such a lethal element, especially when paired with the Cassidy, but a bit of a disintegration comes on as it is Riptide to drop down Sea Serpent, and they're going to continue taking a bit of damage, but the point does get converted. Shadow Steps get brought on out as it's forcing the side of the Bosco Tech to really come back and try and make something happen. A Lava Tank, oh, we might have a bit of a pause coming our way. Not sure if we're going to be able... Oh, never mind. So we are going to be seeing the Cat just dragging their Cassie right back in like a taxi.
I love that. I love that so much. The mobility of Jetpack Cat. Coming in with the heals as well. Doing some serious damage to Doomfist there as well. But Nike, no! Gonna go ahead and get taken down here by that beautiful Cassidy. Sea Serpent does pick one up off the trade and magically one for themselves. And approaching the halfway point here for West Texas Kraken, and it seems that Bosco Tech needs to do a bit of a regroup here, possibly a whoop-de-wop on the long side, taking a different route, but my goodness, magically finds themselves with a gorilla in their face, a Reaper as well, but Riptide gets taken down.
I gotta admit, I love the swap from Jakey Ramy, swapping off of one of the newer heroes added to the bowl and taking their stance on the Reaper, right? The new heroes. I like the Fire Girl a little bit more, but oh, it's just a little bit difficult making some of these newer heroes work. And I gotta say, in general, it's been looking good, right? West Texas, they've been playing a phenomenal game so far. They're swapping over. Parasol makes their way on the Kiriko. Still taking priority over the point. Despite finding a couple kills, it doesn't seem as if we're going to be seeing the Bosco Tech really playing too proactively. Deadshot will get taken down. Sea Serpent not stopping there. Magically going to be able to follow up. Both supports down. And it's all going to be West Texas taking advantage. Oh, I just realized that there was still the glitch happening. Okay, well, I'm an idiot, but we are going to be just seeing the side of the West Texas West Texas, I can't speak, Kraken, taking a clean sweep, 100. Oh, and Sir Mickey, we're already off to a hot start for the West Texas roster.
Right out of the gate, a very strong showing from West Texas. Bosco, they're going to need to dig in here. They're going to need to get something done. Adjust to the tank, perhaps, seems to be a big issue magically on that Domina, just raining down, pun intended, dominance here for Kraken, and they're doing exactly what they need to be doing. Bosco needs to rearrange, possibly adjust the composition. Looks like we are going to have a Mizuki coming in here on the heels. Could be the helping hand they need.
I'm not going to lie. I think Lava Tank on Jetpack Cat is a phenomenal adaptation. Generally, yeah. Jetpack Cat is so strong in these mid to low ranks, right? Maybe not once you start dealing with hit scans who are in that like masters to top 500 level who are going to be able to drop them out of the sky. But when it comes to being able to just completely skyrocket your DPS, especially your hit scan, or being able to just completely close the gap with some of these closer range characters, you really can find so much potential out of the Jetpack Cat, and it seems like XPL West Texas is just taking that to the next level. We are going to be seeing dead shots, Immortality Field destroyed. That gives a little bit of opportunity, but it's still Sea Serpent just taking advantage despite moving from the cast over to the Soldier. They're going to take 0 hints at stopping while the iron's hot, and they're going to completely run down their opposition.
Keep Flip-Flop struggling to find a foothold here. Essentially solo versus the entirety of West Texas. They are going to find the med kit, but too little, too late. Dave plays as well going down. Healers and tank. Everyone's being pushed back to spawn. West Texas showing utter dominance here. They took the point, and they're going to go ahead and continue to be aggressive and take more space for themselves and make sure that Bosco Tech understands that this is their point, and it's going to take a lot more than a couple DPS to rip it from their hands. But look at this. This is what we were talking about. Getting the angles here. Lava Tank picking up his buddy Sea Serpent. Perhaps going to go for a play. Yeah, that's the ultimate. Soldier ultimate comes out.
As to the impact of the tactical visor, Sea Serpent unable to make too much happen off of it, as there is an Immortality Field to give a little bit of pressure. But despite unable to hit a couple of these shots, they're still going to be able to just make so many crosshairs look their way. Magically, he's going to be able to take 2 off the board, and a Lava Tank follows up with a 3rd of their own, swapping over to the Reinhardt. Bosco Tech, can they make anything happen? Answer seems to be no, as the pin is going to leave them grounded. Trying to get the shield online. The Fire Strikes are able to make a connection, but not too much ult charge will be collected off of it. Pinning on in, trying to connect, but it is going to be the Fire Strike to hit for the rest of the team. There's the Jetpack Cat, sending him right on and out.
Oh, and that is the difference maker. Nike Flip-Flop the tank going down, as well as Riptide on that Bastion. DPS and tank off of the board here for Bosco Tech, and it's just spelling doom right now for Bosco, and West Texas is looking to make this a very swift 2-0 here, but there's still a little bit of time. Can Bosco get onto the point to contest in time? But it looks like, man, the Krakens are just cracking down. They're not allowing anyone past, including Reinhardt zooming on by. Not enough time on the board, and West Texas take this series with ease 2-0.
Overall, I don't see a whole ton of synergy coming out from this Bosco Tech roster. I'd like to see them shutting down Sea Serpent a little bit more, as that was the main playmaker for this team to really rally behind, especially when it came to the Jetpack Cat, putting them in a proactive position each and every time. This is something that we do see consistently, and even in this play of the game, right, they swap the Bastion, still are not able to shut them down. This is something that we need to get back on track, right? If you're on this Bosco Tech roster, you absolutely are going to have to try and make that comeback, and it is certainly going to have to start now.
Yeah, Sea Certain Company, they're definitely pulling out some big plays here, but we'll have to see if there's a turnaround.
Not looking good by any means, Sir Mickey, as a 200 percentage. I mean, you are on that Bosco Tech roster. You have at least a little bit to play for, right? You get that map selection. As Ilios was the map 1, that is a very... if you play well on Ilios, you're probably going to be favoring dive-like maps, right? Which means if you get map selection, you're going to be looking to play that brawl a little bit heavier. Maybe trying to head out towards something that's like maybe a Route 66, where you're going to be looking to play that poke, but the Dominion on the other side, right? Dominio? I think I'm saying that right. Domina. Wow. Very poke-heavy tank, right? Is absolutely, when you drop that left click into action, you're able to thrive in long-range situations, and the shield can be such a lethal point to play around. Now, I like this pick, right? We're going to King's Row. This is super brawl-heavy. You can't really make dive work too well, especially if you try and run that Winston, run that Diva. You're going to get beamed down. I think there's a real opportunity for this comeback, but it does have to start now. You're on series point in a best of 3. We need to see Bosco Tech make the comeback if we want to go even further.
Yeah, Bosco has to come out here on Kings Row, and they have to be absolutely furious. They have to be dominant. They have to be on point. I mean, they cannot afford to lose this map, and it really just comes down to, I have to give credit where credit is due. Magically, Sea Serpent and Lava Tank, probably the 3 playmakers of Ilios. And I feel that if Bosco is able to get those 3 off the board, and I'm not guaranteeing anything, but if they're able to get those 3 off the board, it could help them slow the roll a little bit here for West Texas. But like you said, this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup here on Kings Row. We are most likely going to get a shield tank or 2 coming out here. As open as that first half of the map is before you actually capture that cart, that opening, that it's so open in the first part. So you kind of do need that extra shield, if you will, for your DPS and your heals to survive long enough to help you out. So I'm expecting to see perhaps a D.Va, most likely a Reinhardt, maybe a Hog, even because of the sustain. But what about you, Cherry? What do you think composition-wise coming out on Kings Row?
Ideally, I'd like to just see a little bit more towards that brawl heavy, right? I don't really care in too much reality what the West Texas is going to play, because I think they're going to likely just run their Sea Serpent on some kind of hit scan, put him with the Jetpack Cat, and makes a lot of impact. But on the opposite side, I want to see a lot of brawl, right? I want to get a Cass May, maybe like a May Reaper, anything like that. Add in Ramatra, maybe a Rhine, and then for the supports, just play whoever you're comfortable on. Like, though, I don't want to say this is bad. It's not great. Ideally, though, we're just gonna have to kind of wait and see. I think at the level we're currently watching, May is absurdly good, especially in a map like KR. Like, you can make so much happen. You're going to be seeing tanks who are around that Plat Diamond skill level. They're going to be playing the front line. That's what they know. That's what they're good at. And if you play May, you can punish that so well. But do they end up adopting into that? Seems like the answer is going to be no, right? We get a lot of meta, and I like this a lot coming in from that Western Texas roster, right? They're taking that Kiri Lu. This is the most overpowered, the strongest support comp in the game. Amazing work. Taking it with a Reaper cast. They want to play heavy dive. The Czar comes with them. Okay, maybe we have a little bit of an issue. It does seem as if Bosco Tech has DC'd. Hopefully they'll be able to get on back in. That is true. They are already back.
It was a map setup. We just had a bit of a settings issue, but we're good. We should be getting back underway here in a moment. It was just a game mode. It's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, Cherry. It's fine. If we're gonna have tech issues, I know you've worked with me in the past. I always like to say this. If we're gonna have tech issues, have it early on. That way we can get everything else smooth down the road, and we're going to have a nice and successful event tonight. And I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back on the desk with you, and I'm happy to be here on the map like Kings Row to see some serious chaos unfolding. And I'm just happy. I'm excited. We're just here.
Yeah, we're heading on in. We're coming through game number 2 underway. And actually, ironically enough, during the VHEL, I have actually experienced a time where we did have the settings on Kings Row actually on quick play. And it was really awkward and really, it wasn't great.
Well, I'm glad we could avoid that just now. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But as you can imagine, this time, we're getting it done a little bit better, a little bit faster. So, again, we look towards the compositions we saw last time. I'm loving what we saw from that Texas roster. On the other side, I cannot say I hate it. They're running a very London Spitfire-esque comp. They have that Reinhardt. They have that Bastion. I'd like to see both of them setting up on height. Drop your supports with them. Give that sustain availability. Maybe put Deadshot on an angle up towards towers. But there's only going to be Riptide, right? You could put Riptide in Red Room. If you put Riptide in Red Room, you get a lot of priority, you get a lot of safety in terms of being able to control the point. So I want to see him take control over Hotel. The rest of the team play height. Seems like that's not going to be what they're adopting into. They're going to be playing a little bit more towards that low ground, really moshing together, and we'll see what they can find.
Yeah, it does look like a very aggressive team composition here from West Texas, but we'll have to see if all that aggression pays off here on the attack side right out of the gate. Sea Serpent doing some work with the shotties, teleporting in, getting aggressive as hell. Dilbill goes down. Deadshot with a quick trade, though. That Mizuki coming out strong, getting the heals and the DPS on the board. Nike Flip-Flop is currently inside of Magically. A bit of a tech issue. We're okay, I think. I think we're... Just give us one moment. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have it like a baseball game, right, where they're like playing the game while like you're listening
Can't
on
see
the
it, but
radio.
you can hear it.
Exactly. So
And just like that, we're back into it, ladies and gentlemen.
Sick. Oh yeah, Magically taking a big aggressive stance, and they have the Kiriko to give them that sustain, right, keeping them healthy. And in the other regards, you have Riptide getting aggressive, or sorry, the Sea Serpent, who's going to be, oh, this, I don't like this, right? Nike Flip taking a ton of damage that needs to be sustained, that needs to get brought back up, but they didn't really do a lot to punish. Sea Serpent will be shut down, but the trade comes in as Deadshot drops, Magically taking complete advantage over the situation, and they'll get that triple kill. All up to Nike Flip-Flop, who's in a really rough spot. And at this point, it is a complete dismantlement. And if you are on this Bosco Tech roster, you're going to be kicking yourself. Nike Flip-Flop has been staggered. They're at 73%. One player is pushing that payload. However, Magically is coming online.
Yeah, a bit of a slow turn here. West Texas, they just have one on the payload, and that's all they need to keep it moving. They're getting super aggressive and just clearing as much space as possible, pushing Bosco back, getting really in their face. Look at this, Magically behind enemy lines, doing work, takes down Bill here. Sea Serpent losing health drastically quick, but the heals are definitely coming in clutch right now. Magically loves that aggression, and we knew this was going to happen. As soon as we saw that hazard pop up on the top right of our screen, in my heart and soul, I knew we were going to see an aggressive showcase here from Magically, and it's coming to fruition. Deadshot goes down. And it looks like just a full frontal base tank situation here, but Nike Flip-Flop does get taken down as Sea Serpent picks up 2, and it's not looking great here for Bosco Tech. They just cannot find a foothold. And West Texas, they are coming out extremely strong here, but Parasol does have the Deadshot ultimate here, ready and waiting for the team to come around the corner here. All they need is a little bit of line of sight here. Magically so close to the ultimate as well. They finally do get it.
Would it be crazy to say that this looks a little bit stronger, right? I think Bosco Tech is kind of coming online compared to what we saw in game number 1, making sure they do keep themselves on the payload. We are going to be seeing the ult, and Magically having a phenomenal ult. The entire team going to be able to rally behind it, and they go in aggressive. Phenomenal work as they close out the team fight, and at this point, Sir Mickey is really looking like this point is going to be found as they find that next stagger. Riptide down, that takes the Death Blossom offline.
Yeah, Jarky picking up 2 there. Bill with the ultimate, only able to find 1. And just like that, oh wait, Nike Flip-Flop barely able to get on it. They just need to play time now. Take care of that Lucio, take care of that Reaper. But the ultimate does come out, the sound barrier, to provide a little bit of health here. Nike Flip-Flop in trouble on the heels. The Reaper ultimate as well. It's a 1v4 on point, and just like that, West Texas clean it up and pick up all 3 as we head into the next round where Bosco will be on the attack.
General mechanics have been looking absolutely beautiful. Coming through from this West Texas roster, dominating the battlefield consistently, and it really is just a situation where I would like to see just that reset, right? And if you're in that mental position, right, you cannot be happy with this game, but I think there is definitely a possibility for a comeback. And I mean, you know, this is just like a little thing on my end, right? 4 minutes and 9 seconds. You know, one time I played into an overtime. Or like other team, they had 4 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. We had 1 minute. We still came back and won. So, you know, I'm not counting them out. But anyway.
Very possible.
Yeah,
Magically hopping on a wrecking ball. Hammond the hamster coming out. Let's see what some what poke damage can be done here. I gotta let the audience know I'm a wrecking ball main, and I'm excited. I'm so ready to see Magically do some crazy stuff. Please do some crazy stuff, Magically. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Did they change the map? I do not remember this angle being like here.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
that's
an
the thing
idiot.
about ball, man. They just find places. You know, because as a wrecking ball, verticality is your best friend with those slams and the momentum. So we just get up in high places, and they're not going to be super found out right away. But there we go. The grapple, the momentum is what we're talking about. Booping almost the entire team, grabbing heals and getting out, just disrupting the lineup here. The slam coming out. Not a whole bunch of damage for the results. Reaper barely surviving the exit here. Magically targeting Bastion. Mizuki, you're next, but I don't know if they're going to be able to finish it. No, they're going to get out of harm's way. The team is creating absolute chaos in order for Magically to do this poke damage stuff that's happening right now. But right out of the gate, Bosco Tech, it's Dilbill last standing here in a 1 versus 5. Just going to go ahead and wait for the team. Do a little bit of a regrouping here. They have yet to even get to the point to pick up the payload.
Yeah, they haven't been able to pass that first choke, and that's really just kind of like something that will be that tragedy we're going to keep watching for.
Yeah.
Sea Serpent still swapping over, right? They were on that hit scan, making their move on the Reaper. It is a little bit on the interesting side. I think there is a real possibility they can make something happen, but it's not like they really need to. The lava tank is still going to keep their way. They're going back actually to the cat, so realistically the ball just disrupting the backline is going to be enough to kind of keep this team in dismay, right? Putting them in a really concussed position where they don't really understand like what they should be looking at, who they should be targeting. They know Magically is fighting the support, and yeah, right, there's another slam. Nike flip-flop is going to try and bubble their teammates, keep them alive, but it's like that just allows you to be the one to get focused, and that's exactly what happens.
Man, people want to say Wrecking Ball is a throw tank or a dive tank, and say what you want, but if you know how to play that character, it is a game changer. If you know how to target the backline and just create chaos, then your DPS can hit them from the other direction, and it's just nothing but dubs going around. But look at Dave Plays targeting Reaper here, and Sea Serpent is going to get taken down. That could be the opening that Bosco's looking for, but they have to move up. Here comes the minefield, though, for Magically as Serpent goes down. Nike flip-flop pinned in a corner. Parasol picks them up, but a quick refrag here from Magically. A quick slam as well. No dice on that, though. The minefield still up and running. And speaking of running, Dilbill not going to find a place to hide. Does get taken out, and just over a minute remaining for Bosco to get to this point. And it's important to note that at this point in the last round, West Texas was already at the second checkpoint.
Yeah, this is the problem with that first gun of Sea Serpent, right? Like, there was just so much invested into finding it. We saw both bubbles, everything got utilized, and it's just like, yeah, you killed the Reaper, but then the rest of the team is able to capitalize, and they didn't really take that step back, right? They didn't kind of play a little bit more passively while they didn't have the cooldowns available. Now Sea Serpent's going to be falling down. Maybe this is the time to make something happen. They didn't invest a ton of ults. They have nothing. They might be able to get Deadshot back onto theirs, but the contest is still here. Magically able to get back to the point, probably going to have their power drive still available, but they are really just dismantling the backline, right? They're keeping the team in dismay, and now 2 points will be capped. Maybe they'll be able to keep this alive a little bit longer. Full HP and slam. There's a triple hit with the slam, and it will look nice. About to have their second mines on the round available, and they're going to look to target that backline on the wall once more. The nice cleanup as they do force out the recall. Going to be Magically pushing up to get as much verticality as possible before hitting the mines, and that will do it. A 2-0 victory gives the West Texas roster their 2-0 in the preseason week 1 matchup.
Man, you got to give credit to Magically on that ball, and like I said, I'm just a ball defender. I'm sorry, I'm just a wrecking ball defender. Magically, with the play of the game, absolutely deserved, doing some serious damaging work on this hazard. Look at this, the aggression. And then once they did swap to that wrecking ball, the aggression was still there. It was just in a different form on that back line, and they caused enough chaos in order for the rest of the West Texas roster to pin Bosco essentially in their spawn for the entirety of that first checkpoint, and they just weren't able to ever get on the point. And a lot of that credit goes to Magically just for the minefields holding them. Ball is just a hold on, let me slow this game down type of a character, and Magically did it beautifully, and the rest of the team was phenomenal. Like you said, West Texas takes it 2-0, and it was definitely a strong series from West Texas. I hope Bosco comes back next time strong.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not they are going to inevitably be able to make the comeback, take this series in the future when they play in the main season. But as of now, it is really looking like West Texas Tech is going to be, or not West Texas Tech, West Texas is going to be really poised to find a big, good season. So we'll see whether or not they are going to be able to make strides within the spring season, or whether or not they may just fall short. But this has been a phenomenal stream. Make sure to come back tomorrow for some Apex, Thursday for some Valorant. Thank you all so much for tuning in. My name has been Cherry J, joined once more by Sir Mickey. As we end off, thank you to our phenomenal producer and observer, Edge. And we will see you all next time with some even more eSport action. See you all next time. Peace out.